So nice to see everybody, though virtually would have been fabulous if we were able to get into a room together, but this is just as great to see everybody's faces this morning. As Maria said, yes, I am the general manager for the Hoboken chapter under the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. So on behalf of the Chamber and our EXCO members, so several of us have joined this morning. There's Adam Kilpatrick, Ed Verdell, and Lisa Triano Ascalise, if you can just give a wave. And also Greg Delaquila. They are part of our executive committee, which basically replaced the board for the Hoboken Chamber. So on behalf of everybody, I welcome you to, as Maria said, our first virtual breakfast roundtable for 2020. We are pleased to present the leadership team for the Hoboken Business Alliance, the Special Improvements District for Hoboken. Before we get to the actual presenters, I'd like to take the opportunity for, a couple of minutes, if we could, to just go around to everybody, unmute yourself, introduce yourself, tell us how you're doing, right? We know that these are unprecedented times that we are going through. Also, on an emotional, business, et cetera level, everybody's probably going through a range of emotions, as I am as well. So we'd like to hear from you. So if we can kind of just quickly go through everybody, announce yourself, say hi, tell us how you're doing. Then we'll give the ground rules for this morning's Zoom meeting, and then we'll introduce the presenters. So who wants to start?
I'm Greg Delaquila from JDA Group. We own the Hoboken Business Center, a couple residential properties. I am on the Hoboken Chamber Executive Committee, the Hudson County Chamber Board. I'm also on the Improvement District. For me, as a landlord primarily, some of my tenants are paying rent. Some of my tenants are not paying rent. But I would say that this past week, I've felt better than I have since this started. So it feels like I went outside not worrying about wearing a mask. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's how I'm doing.
All right, I'll go next, I guess. I'm Tracy Gavan. I'm here with my other co-founder, Sabrina Stoffel, and we founded Main Street Pops, which is a pop-up programming company. And we're trying to activate, we were trying to activate Hoboken with various pop-up events and programming in unused spaces. We've worked with a few of you for sure. Greg was kind enough to donate a space for one of our first events in December. And we were planning a environmental film festival this weekend in honor of Earth Day, which is today. So we're kind of regrouping and figuring out, what to do in this kind of interim period, reinventing ourselves, and like everyone else, trying to figure it out.
Thanks, Tracy. Sabrina?
Unmute. You got to unmute, hon. There you
go. Hi, I'm Sabrina Stoffel. I am partners with Tracy, and hopefully we're going to bring this film festival virtual and have a lot of fun. And Tracy and I are also on the board at Mile Square Theater, and we're super excited about Hudson Gives and what a fantastic partnership this has been. We did such a good job last year. We're super excited for this year. We know it's a little bit different. We are not paying rent, Greg. Sorry, if we were your tenant, we would be one of those. Mile Square Theater is doing pretty well. We brought our classes all online. Our people are pretty satisfied, but we're not doing any productions in theater for a long time. But we are going to bring our 7th inning stretch online. So we're going to do some combination of a YouTube and Facebook Live situation. Don't ask me about the technology. But it should be fun, and they're going to be one-of-a-kind plays written for now, written for this time. So maybe you're going to see people introducing themselves to their wives because there hasn't been any sports for so long. So maybe it'll be something uplifting that will make people smile while in their house, bring people together a little bit, bring some connection. And I feel like this meeting is connecting me to you guys, and I'm happy to see all your faces.
Thanks, Sabrina. Ed, do you want to go?
Yes, sure. Good morning, everybody. Ed Verdell with Compass. I'm a residential real estate broker in Hoboken. I'm also a chamber ambassador, and I'm on the executive committee of the Hoboken Chamber. So Dawn, what was the question? How are you feeling right now?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling optimistic, and I look at this time as a good time to really just sit at home and work on your business rather than being in your business. And I'm not showing property like I would be every single day, but instead I get to work on my marketing and creating social media content and just working on different aspects of my business. So it's a good time to really just sit down and do that, or do any training or learn any new skills. There's still plenty of work to do. And you know, when an entrepreneur reaches out to me and says, I'm so bored, I have nothing to do, I can't fathom how that's possible. There's so much to do out there. So staying positive.
Good. Thanks, Ed. Lisa? We can't hear you, Lisa. All right. Well, as Lisa's joining, we'll go to Adam.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone's virtual morning going?
Virtually well. Good.
Yeah, it's sort of an adjustment, I think, to be on this space, but it does have its upside, I would say. I'm Adam Kilpatrick. I'm on the executive board for Hoboken. I work for the New York Life Insurance Company. I will say it's been interesting to work from home. Our services are very valuable in a moment like this, and many of the clients I have and folks I've met are reaching out because they want to make sure they have all of their life insurance needs secure, and they want to feel some peace of mind that they're in the right place. And New York Life has been an amazing company to help people. They've really stood up, and they're built for times like these. They've said it over and over that they're financially strong and will get through this as they've done for 175 years. And I'm proud to work with them. And I've had a lot of good experiences with some of my clients, just even in small ways, just things that help them out in a time like this. And doing it from home makes it so that none of us have to see each other face to face or touch each other. And even medical exams for life insurance have been suspended, and we worked around that for underwriting. So that's helping. I'm glad to be a part of this group, and I'm anxious to help help Hoboken in any way that I can.
Thanks, Adam. Let's jump over to Lisa.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Lisa. I own Anglin Volkers, real estate brokerage in Hoboken. We've been open under my ownership for about a year. So we were in very much growth mode. So the beginning of this, I was very nervous, but it looks like we started to see some serious activity this past week. So I think much like Ed, I am optimistic, kind of looking forward to the remaining weeks we have to kind of get organized and to focus on that marketing stuff and then hit the ground running when we're, hopefully let out of our cages. So much better feeling today than the past 4 weeks.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. Do we still have Kay on? I think she dropped. Okay.
Hello.
All right. Let's go to Robert, please.
Hello, I'm Bob Graham. Bob Graham Jr., architectural photography. And a few days before they told you couldn't go into New York or New Jersey, I was up there photographing the skylines of Jersey City. So I'm excited to get back there to finish up my Hudson Skylines project, and I'm looking forward to it. I just wish they'd say that architectural photography was an essential business. Get me out of my house. In February, I had, on 28th, I had a knee replacement. So the month of March, I wasn't going to be doing anything anyway. but if everything's going real well and I'm back and ready to get out there and do what I do.
Great.
I miss everybody up there. I enjoy coming up and seeing everybody. It's just part of my life. So when I got a chance to be a part of this, I thought, wow, this is kind of cool. So I'm very grateful to be here, and I look forward to seeing everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher?
Morning, Chris Halloran with HMAG. We've been covering Hoboken for the past decade, and we've expanded into Jersey City, Hudson County, surrounding area. I'm wearing these earphones because I have 2 screaming children here at home, so I'm going to be on mute most of the time, but happy to chime in whenever I can. You know, we've kept going because the news keeps going, obviously, so we've been pretty busy. We've taken our product mostly all digital now. We used to be print, now we're all digital. So this kind of suits me. I get to sit home and write. But you know, we've stopped invoicing our clients, our advertisers, and you know, we're hoping that, you know, Hoboken can get back on its feet and we can get going. And I'm here to see what the plan is with HBA and how we can help. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, Beth, how are you?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Beth Buckley. I am a stylist for a menswear company, J. Hilburn. I have to say, when I saw the announcement for the roundtable this morning, I was so excited, and I connected with Greg, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see everyone tomorrow, see your faces. So for me, for my business, I work with men, and, you know, I'm physically, you know, taking measurements and doing fittings and everything. And this time has allowed me to just step back and connect with people virtually. We're lucky to have a platform that we can work with our clients virtually. So I'm doing virtual fittings, I'm sending things out. And I feel like it's an opportunity to connect in a different way. So I've really gotten to know my clients in a different way, which I think is really, really special.
Thanks, Beth. Eugene, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Happy Earth Day. I'm glad that we're all on this together. I am the new president of the Hoboken Business Alliance and a former restaurateur in Hoboken. And my wife and I have real estate, and we're stakeholders in Hoboken. I've been trying to work a lot with some restaurateurs about different things that we can do to help get through this. We worked with the new food pantry that's on at the old YMCA, and that's doing very well. We're doing a lot of work with the Hoboken Business Alliance, trying to work on projects. We stalled a little bit, but we're back on board working on projects that will hope be an assistance and help the city with issues that they can't deal with directly, and try to create a more enjoyable and clean working environment once we get up and running again in Hoboken. It's a real challenge, but we're happy to be part of it, because I think now more than ever, the CID can be a real valuable partner to the city of Hoboken. And I'm glad to be with you all this morning.
Thanks, Eugene. Stuart?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stuart Kopweiss. I am the new executive director of the Hoboken Business Alliance. I have been involved in improvement districts for about 25 years. I have my own company, Economic Development Strategist. I've been involved in Jersey City and Hudson County for quite some time. I started out in Jersey City back in the, I guess late 80s, early 90s, and involved with improvement districts. And we're looking forward to working here in Hoboken. As Eugene mentioned, you know, we started off with a lot of opportunities and things that we wanted to put together. We just came together in January of this year, so we were getting our feet, you know, up and running, and then all of a sudden the virus crisis hit us, and we had to switch gears very quickly. We actually have our marketing team, which we hired in March, that's here on our working with us too. They put together a little video for us, which we'll show later on when we get into the program, to help us, you know, in here for Hoboken. There's a lot of good things that are going on. Hoboken is, as you know, a very unique city, and it has its challenges because of, quite frankly, there's so much going on in 1 square mile. So there's a lot to do. I'm very happy that Greg and Eugene are part of the executive board, and look forward to working with all of you as we start moving forward and rescuing ourselves into a new place of retail environment.
Thanks, Stuart. Anybody else want to jump on? I don't see any more pictures, but I see Stephen.
Hi, good morning. How are you? I'm Steve Lennox. I am the publisher of Tap into Hoboken. We are probably the new kids on the block. We're a new hyper-local newspaper that's just launched on April 1st. We are partnering right now with HMAG, with Chris Holleran, so we're very excited about that. We certainly didn't intend to launch this way. We are very much a community-oriented newspaper. We're in 85 cities across New Jersey. I'm the publisher of 5 of them. Our goal is really to be on the ground, meeting the business owners, meeting the nonprofits. Obviously, none of that has been possible, but the time will come. We'll do that. Right now, we're appreciative of everybody who has been reading over the last few weeks. Keep sharing information with us, stories you need to get out. We're not into body counts. We're into sort of telling the good news stories, what's really happening, how are these cities showing resiliency. So we'll have plenty of time. I'm actually in Ireland myself right now. I've been here since March 5th. And I'm probably here for the foreseeable future, but we'll all be together soon, and I'll look forward to meeting everybody in person, and please check out tapintohoboken.net.
Thanks, Stephen. That's great. Anybody else want to jump on? Tell us how you're doing? No? Okay. All right. Yes, Maria.
Sorry, I hope you can't hear my dogs in the background. Apologies. I just wanted to say to Chris and the Tap into Hoboken gentlemen,
Stephen,
would we be able to maybe share our story about Hudson Gives, our Giving Day on May 14th? And would you run a story on that? If so, you can ping me in the chat box, because that is a really feel-good story about resiliency here that we're doing with the chamber that I'd love to share and get out there.
100%, Maria. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. That's you know, that's a given. We'll certainly catch up after this, and we'll get a story together and get it out. That's exactly what Steve and I are looking for. So thank you.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everybody. All right, so ground rules for this morning. Please, everybody, put yourself on mute while the presentation is going on. I do have two pieces of information that I can share. So as soon as Stuart, Eugene, or Greg, whomever it is, gives me the red light, I can share my screen and I can show you those 2 items. Regarding questions, so we ask that everybody stay on mute while the presentation is going on. If you would like to type us a question, there is the chat box on the side. When we get to the time where we're going to be doing Q&A, we're going to go to those questions first. If you don't type us a question at the Q&A time, if you raise your hand and then unmute yourself and then ask your questions, and then we'll take the questions that way. Okay, so does that sound good? We'll turn it over to Stuart.
Okay.
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. Well, again, welcome everybody. Good morning. Enjoying your coffee. Thank you for the opportunity to meet all of you. Obviously, like we all have said, would have loved to have done this in person, shake your hand, and as some of you know, I'm a big hugger and kisser. So, you know, big hugs and kisses, what can I say? So here we are. What I'd like to do right up front is probably just talk about our mission, our objectives and goals, and then allow Eugene and everybody and Greg to chime in as well, because Eugene has a great vision of where we're going and has been putting it together for the last year and a half. I'm assuming that most of you know improvement districts being involved both in Hoboken and Hudson County. There are several improvement districts in Hudson County. A lot of them started out in Jersey City, quite frankly, and then moved up along the Gold Coast. Right now, for Hoboken ourselves, as I mentioned, our budget was approved in the fall of 2019, and then we were up and running as of January 1st with our first assessment, and went out in January. Our mission basically is to, help energize and enhance Hoboken's business environment and maximize consumer engagement through a variety of collaborative alliances with both businesses and communities such as yourselves. And that's why this is really very important for us to make those particular connections. Our main objective is to create a beautiful and art-filled, safe, accessible, and prosperous business district, which attracts all of our citizens and visitors to shop, eat, and play and stay in Hoboken. One of the things that we did in Hoboken, which I believe is very unique in terms of an improvement district, is actually work. We decided that nobody should be left out of the opportunities to create a more energized and enhanced business environment for Hoboken. Because Hoboken's businesses are spread out the entire city, we determined that everybody should be included, but not at different levels and different rates. So consequently, the entire city of Hoboken and all the properties that are associated in commercial residential, commercial retail, and industrial properties that are in the city of Hoboken have been included in our district as our stakeholders. We have approximately 1,700 properties and businesses that are in our district. It's probably one of the largest improvement districts, and our budget is just over $1.3 million. We plan on putting those things into a variety of programs such as physical and commercial improvements, which we can get into in more detail, business attraction and retention, and visual improvements and events. As you can tell, given our current situation, some of those things have now changed in terms of directions, particularly in fact of, events obviously are not going to be what they used to be. We're working with Downtown New Jersey, it's a statewide organization, and also our governments to figure out the best way of creating events as we move forward. Business attraction, one of the things what we wanted to do right away is put together a marketing team, and we have some of them present on our screen today. Mickey Pagano and Tony Parenti from Branding Shorts. They are a Hoboken-based firm. They're a marketing firm. They're actually excellent. And with that, if I can just take a moment to put together, to show you, if I can share my screen with you, a video that was put together, and hopefully the audio will come out in a reasonable fashion. So let's see.
Stuart, I have the video and I can share it if you want me to do that.
I got it loaded too, so
okay.
Whatever. All right, thank you. Here it comes. I believe you can see that, and let's grow this up to the big one, and there we go.
Our historic little square city has been through a lot, from World War I to 9/11 to Sandy, but we always stick together. We overcome. We are a family, from the restaurants to the shops, to our Mile Square Theater, to our first responders. We are a community always here for each other. Now Hoboken needs support more than ever. So take out, give back, buy online, be here for Hoboken.
So, as you can see, excuse me, one second, here we go. I stopped sharing for some reason. Where are you guys? Hello? Are you there? Oh.
We're here, Stuart.
Yeah, I don't know. So my screen just went crazy, so I apologize.
We see you, but we're hearing some kind of...
You're fine, Stuart.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, I'm trying to get out of my screen here, and I can't. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Wow, that was pretty difficult. All right, so as you can tell, what you call it, Branding Shorts put together a great program in terms of just what we're doing and who we are and what's happening in Hoboken right now. Our new theme is, here for Hoboken. We're working with the city in a variety of different ways. One of the things, if you can, I know I shared that link with Dawn. If Dawn wants to send it around to you, you all can have a copy of that. And if you want to like us on Facebook and all your social media platforms, that'll help us. Our biggest challenge right now is working with all the businesses in the city to be able to figure out who they are, where they are. There is no comprehensive listing, so we're working with everybody. And once we have that, we'd be happy to share with everybody as well, so we can all communicate with each other. So I don't know, Eugene, if you want to go into some, visions of where we're going and how we're getting there and whatever, and I'll answer some other questions after Greg as well.
Sure, thank you. Some of the initiatives that we started and we're working on are, we have an idea to just, in different sections of town, we have 7 different districts, but we allocated funding in order of the priorities that we set forth for our first year or two. And so our main objective from a visual point of view was to work on Washington Street, 1st Street, and 14th Street, which are our main business corridors. And we have plans to do some work to fix up the old Verizon boxes that are on the street and have local artists do some work. We're working with the Arts Council that is also part of, not the CID, but the city of Hoboken has put a certain amount of money aside for arts commissions projects. And we hope that working with them, we're going to divide all these utility boxes that are on Washington Street and either shrink wrap some of them or put artists work on some of the boxes to help beautify Washington Street. We're working on a project to put pots and flowers on Washington Street. We're a little behind on that because we, like I said before, put our brakes on things, but we hope to move forward with that because we think after we come out of this, as we come out of this, people are going to need things to feel good about Hoboken, to feel good about walking down our main street and to want to shop and engage with the businesses. I think that along with that, our marketing efforts are going to be enhanced by working with the logo here for Hoboken. We're also working with the city and we had a little bit of a confusion about how we were going to go about helping them, but we are going to use our website to help the city with fundraising for this coronavirus initiative. And we hope that we can raise money, and the majority of the money is going to help local businesses because the PPP, of course, everyone knows, ran out that first round of funding, and the second round of funding just got approved. But a lot of businesses are having a hard time accessing that revenue. And I think that we as a business alliance have to look for other ways to be helping them. And I think the marketing is going to help. I think that we will also be able to help with this fund that money will go directly to businesses that need it. We're excited. It's a challenging time, but I see silver linings, and I think that we're going to work hard to help the businesses, and we certainly want to work with all of you, and we're happy to be part of the greater Hudson County business environment, and we look forward to helping all of you. Thank you for having us today. Greg?
So I see the Hoboken Business Alliance as this unbelievable tool where the property owners and business owners share their collective dollars, and we have a board of business owners and property owners representing us and those dollars, and we're spending them on marketing, which each individual business would have to do on their own. And the thing that I recognized being a part of the business community in Hoboken for so long is that there's always been a lot of negative press, and there was never one theme, one positive theme, one good marketing effort for Hoboken. And that's what we're working on first and foremost. We're trying to attract people to come here, not think that parking is a nightmare, not think that flooding is a problem. We want to market all the positives. And another thing that we're going to work on, because the improvement district is a public-private partnership with the city, we're going to work on the process of opening a business and making that process easier. And that's another one of our roles. So I'm excited to be on the improvement district. And I think we're really going to make a difference in really the vibe of what people think about the business community in Hoboken.
Right. So one of the things that we're, picking up on what Eugene and Greg had talked about is that we were working on this feasibility study to put together this improvement district for about 1.5 years, a little bit more. And we really came together. Our board consists of a variety of different property owners and business owners throughout the city, and including obviously a representative liaison from the council themselves and the mayor's office as well. We've been working very closely with them. And over the time, we basically thought of 3 areas that we really needed to concentrate on, which was capital and visual improvements, business attraction, and marketing. And in those particular areas, our area, what we looked at was, cleaning, like in capital and visual improvements, it's not so much just cleaning services, but also placemaking, seasonal decorations, supplemental cleaning, art installations, that type of thing. And in the business attraction, we were putting together a retail market analysis. And as Greg mentioned, a one-stop shop retail promotions. How do you open up a business? How can we streamline the opportunities for businesses to come into Hoboken? We also wanted to work on major events, assisting the current events, and then working with new events as well. As you know, when you mentioned the film festival, I mean, the Tribeca Film Festival was supposed to come here as well and do a little bit short thing. And, unfortunately, that fell apart, as all these things have fallen apart. And in marketing, that's the area where we just stepped up right away. We did hire, as I mentioned, Branding Shorts, as you saw their video. We're working with them. We have our launch is supposed to be a 60 to 90-day launch, but given the crisis, it actually took us about 6 days, and we put together a new program. And and from that new program, we're eventually going to have a new launch. We'll go out there, and there'll be branding, marketing, et cetera. Just to give you an idea, we have about $500,000 in capital improvements that we've earmarked, business attraction about $300,000, and marketing for about $400,000. So we really have a great source of funding because of the way it was structured. But what we're looking to do right now, most importantly, is, and considering the current situation, is to figure out how we can work with both the Hudson County Chamber and the Hoboken Chamber and all the businesses that you represent, and how we can help communicate that information. We would love for you to go to our website, which is right now the HobokenAlliance.com. And if you can, just register with us. This way we can start working with you on emails and any other promotions that we're looking to do. And we can cross promote each other, both through the chamber efforts locally and through the county as well. So I think that's kind of gives us an understanding of where we are and what we're looking to accomplish. This is one of the beginnings of our partnerships, and we look forward to continuing those and growing. So I'd be happy to take any questions from anybody, however it works out. And thank you again. Eugene, I don't know if you want to say anything.
I did just also want to mention, like the Hudson County Chamber, we are very interested in trying to connect all Hoboken businesses, because most of the businesses in Hoboken are small businesses. And by having access to the Hoboken Business Alliance and getting on our website and registering, we will have the ability to interact and share information and help small businesses by communicating things that are happening, especially during this pandemic. So as Stuart said, it would be great if everyone could go on to our website and register, so we can build a database of all the local businesses so that we can interact in a very positive way to help all of our businesses. Thank you.
Right. I mean, one of the key elements here is that, I don't know if you're familiar with the role. I mean, obviously you're familiar with chambers and improvement districts. There is a major difference, and that is that everybody's in. So in an improvement district, everybody has to contribute, because we utilize the city as an instrument to collect the funds for us. And it's created by an ordinance that was adopted by the city council themselves. And every year our budget goes in front of the city council for approval. So we're, and in this sense, everybody is part of the team, and we want everybody to feel that they're receiving a benefit from the team. And eventually that will happen. And that's a major difference between a chamber, because I know you all work very hard. You're on the executive committees and boards, whatever it happens to be. But you do know that there are a lot of people who are involved in chambers, who just come and, enjoy, but don't really contribute that much. We're looking to make sure that we can help you as much as we can help each other. So look forward to that. And yes, Ed.
So I guess I'm curious. I know Greg mentioned in the beginning that he's not getting rent from some tenants, and the special improvement district puts a little bit of extra pressure on landlords as far as having to pay an extra tax. So are you guys getting pushback from landlords that are not collecting rent from tenants right now and having to pay this extra tax? Are there people that are not willing to pay it? Just wanted to know how that's, working.
Right now, just the assessment, although it's classified, it looks like a tax. It really isn't a tax because it's not an appealable item, so it runs differently, but it goes out separately than a tax bill. Our assessment goes out twice a year, not quarterly. So the first assessment was out already prior to this virus hitting. So we really haven't felt the impact yet. However, and I know Greg will talk to this more, but we have been getting phone calls and, issues and working with the mayor's office. And I've been getting probably 3 or 4 calls a day about, I can't pay my rent. I don't know what's going on. The rent is not coming in. And there's really nothing out there for landlords to receive in terms of the PPP because it's not really a program for them. So we're working. We haven't felt any pressure, so to speak, on the assessment itself. We have actually just had a conversation at our board meeting last night about the impact of the assessment moving forward, and we're just going to look at it on a timely basis as we start moving into June and July and figure out where we're going with that. The key element here now is that once we do go beyond where we currently are in terms of opening up and re-socializing again, and I'll just throw this one out to you too, is that I think the word socialing distance is really is a misnomer, because we really are social individuals as human beings. So it's really physical distance that we should be talking about and not social distancing, because this way we can all get back together again and have fun and enjoy each other. So, but what we were looking to do is eventually, work with the city and figure out the best way of moving forward with these options. So, that's all I can say right now. I do feel the several calls, and quite frankly, what's happened, Ed, is that, and I mentioned this yesterday to Greg, I'm more of a psychologist now than anything else. I listen to people, they're talking, they're venting, and at the end of the day, they feel a little bit better. Our website is filled with information, just as the chambers is, in terms of where we're going, what we're updating, what's available to the businesses, the PPP and the EIDL programs, and of course, the ones from New Jersey EDA. I mean, they go out there so quickly, and all of a sudden, bang, they're gone. Nobody can really get their hands on the money. I don't know anybody personally yet who's gotten any PPP funding, but I know a lot of the bigger corporations are getting them. And it's really, it's such a misnomer, again, for it to be called, a Main Street program to small businesses, because I don't know any small businesses, with 10, 15, 20 employees who've gotten a PPP program.
And I think also, I think that we as a board and certainly as an improvement district, we certainly have to be compassionate and understanding of people that might be having an economic hardship and not able to pay. But at the same time, I think it's our responsibility to say that the reason that we put this special improvement district together is to help businesses. And I don't think there's a time that is greater than right now that a SID can be beneficial to businesses if we work hard to help build up businesses over time. So I would hope that businesses that are having to pay and stakeholders that are having to pay understand that our goal is to help them long-term and keep the properties valuable for them.
Right. I mean,
to answer your question, Ed, we haven't heard from any landlords about the assessment or any pushback. And I think to echo what Eugene is saying, the business community is going to need the improvement district now more than ever coming out of this.
Right.
And that's where when we spend those marketing dollars, And just think of I Love New York or JC Make It Yours. And that's what our marketing company is going to be doing to help bring business into Hoboken.
Yeah, the key thing is going to be, and I've been talking about this with other improvement districts throughout the state, is that right now, once this is over, the need for a collective opportunity to push retail and consumer traffic into your particular town, and in our instance, Hoboken, is going to be crucial. And we are going to be ready with all the programs ready. All we have to do is just pull the trigger and press the buttons, and we'll start making things happen. So consequently, our funding is in place, and we're going to be utilizing it as once we're ready to, as again, physically be able to get together and put people back on the streets in the city of Hoboken.
Hey, sorry to jump in. Just wanted to ask a question about this video is awesome, by the way. I think it's really great what you guys are doing, and as a small business owner, it's obviously a challenging time, and just knowing that this is out there is great. As far as getting this video around, are we allowed at this point to post it on our social media platforms? Or okay, great, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, as was mentioned before, is that we're working with the city in terms of they're putting together a fund for the crisis, and they were trying to figure out what was the best logo to utilize. And because we have the hashtag here for Hoboken right now, we're going to be utilizing that, and the city's going to come up with another name for their fund, and that should be launched probably by the end of this week or the beginning of next week. In addition to that, next week, I believe by the end of next week, there are going to be about 65 flags that are going to be going up on all of the posts that are going to have the heart with the hashtag here for Hoboken up there, so people can know and go to the website and start making donations and then supporting the businesses, because funds are going to come in, and we're going to be giving those. The city is going to be giving those funds out through the committee to the businesses within Hoboken. So yes, please share as much social media as you can. Sabrina, I think you had a question.
I did. Is there some kind of interim plan between hunkered down in the cave in the house, not going out at all, and full on Madison Square Garden? Like there's going to be maybe, I don't know, 24 months where we're in between our house and Madison Square Garden, and maybe there's going to be a change in the way that people shop and interact, and how do we make sure that people know that Hoboken can be a safe place to do that? And I know that there's so many things that we don't know, like, are they going to change the occupancy and everything is going to be at 25% occupancy? And so the cupcake shop by my house is only going to always be one person, period. Like there's not going to be sit down for 2 more years. Or at the Italian restaurant, there's going to be 3 tables because they're whatever.
Sabrina, I think one of the great things that I really get excited about with the improvement district is that the amount of dollars that we have that we're spending with the marketing company that we hired, who is a local marketing company. They're here in Hoboken. They live in
I worked with them. We love them.
Yep.
Miles Square Theater works with them all the time. They're fantastic.
But I think as the government tells us when things are safe, we spend the money with the marketing company. The marketing company pushes that message out.
Okay.
And it doesn't come from like a Nixle alert. It comes from a marketing company to tell
creative marketing company,
right? To tell people that it's safe and to tell people to come to Hoboken. So it's like we act as the conduit and push that messaging through the marketing company.
Right.
So I have a question.
No, I was going to finish up with that, Tracy, 1 second.
Oh, go ahead.
We are working with the marketing company right now to come up with interim plans as to how best to support the businesses. And once we have that information, we'll share it with everybody. Sorry, Tracy.
Cool. Thank you. Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for including as one of the board members, thank you for including Miles Square Theater in the video. We love that. We were thrilled. I'm just curious, how are you distributing that other than, I saw that it was housed on the website. What is the marketing plans for getting that video out in the world?
Well,
Other
right.
than just from us, all of the members posting about it, or is there any other?
I mean, it's really social media right now and getting the word out and getting the hashtag out there and just pushing it through, you know, your Instagram or and any social media platform and then Facebook, etc. I mean, that's all we have right now. We're building our email database as it goes out there. We believe that once the flags go up, the banners, if you will, that's going to create a tremendous buzz as well to push the video.
To give a little history about that, on Garden Street between 11th and 12th, yellow flags were put up, and yellow flags historically are saying that you're in quarantine but you're safe. Right. And so a combination of that and the creative efforts of our marketing team have gotten the idea to put these up on Washington Street, and that I think will be a really big push to help people understand who we are and how we're here to help, especially businesses.
I love the idea. This company called Hoboken Custom Craft is creating these H's in the 2020 Pantone, which is this blue. And it's like a definition of the blue, and it's like strength and something like that. And then he wrote strong in sunshine yellow. So it's like the H of Hoboken cut out wood with the sunshine yellow, and he's selling them and donating the money to the flag organization. So that money can go to the food pantry and to the frontline workers. But he's saying you can put them in your window, I'll hang them on your gate for you, whatever you want, but it's the same solidarity thing. Chris published an article about it the other day for me.
Great. What was the name of the company again?
It's called Hoboken Custom Craft. They're a woodworking company in the Newman Leather Building.
That's great.
Great.
And so the guy who owns it called me and said, I want to help. I like to feed people. What can I do? Who do you know? And I said, you should do something with what you do.
Right.
You know, don't just give money because people forget about that. Do a thing that people can remember you by, that you can get a little marketing out of it. You can pay your guys because he's on 50%. You know, he's laid off half his people.
That would be great. I mean, if you can share that contact with us, that, you know, or send it to Dawn and she can just send it out to us, that would be helpful.
Sure.
Yeah. Because we would like to be able to eventually list all of our businesses in the city on our website and have a link to them. We actually just hired another firm last night to work with us to help coordinate and map out all the businesses in the city. And that map will be available both on your handheld device and of course your computers as well, but it'll also give an opportunity for businesses to update their information and have cross links to everybody on our platform.
As an app.
Right.
So it's like a Yelpy kind of thing, but
it's
Hoboken?
Correct.
Cool.
Yep.
Will there be a way to block crazy negativity? Because
you know, you won't be able to. The only way you'll be able to get inside is if you had a password to do it on your own. It's not going to be, you know, posting and you can, you know, do whatever you want. We're going to be controlling the platform.
Because Yelp can kill a business by a person's whim, and it really can be awful for no real reason.
It's not going to operate that way.
Okay, good.
So we're gathering data from those resources, but we're not going to allow it to have that type of impact.
And I also wanted to tell you that the Hoboken Custom Craft guy is making like it's almost a 5 foot tall H, and he's going to put it in front of City Hall so that people will see the H on people's gates and the H in front of City Hall. He gave the gift to Ravi, and Ravi accepted it. So hopefully it'll be up.
That's right. And on the video too, we did send it out. I believe the city sent it out via their Nixle program. It was out there. So I think we have, you know, a lot of hits on that. I don't remember exactly the number of the views.
Over 17,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that video we shared, Tracy and I shared it at least 6 times.
Right.
Yeah, no, Stuart, when I had asked that question, I was thinking, you know, not now, obviously, but it's a great video and it's a great promotional tool to push out, you know, to the surrounding areas, not just, definitely Hoboken, of course, but, you know, to the surrounding areas for people to come back to Hoboken later as well, you know?
Well, we're going to, yeah, absolutely, you know, we'll put together another video. I mean, one of the reasons we actually hire Branding Shorts is local, they have a feel for the community, but also they do great work and they are very video oriented, as you can tell. So we plan on doing a lot of types of videos that are going to push out there in short spurts so we can get the message out that Hoboken is here. You know, here for Hoboken goes both ways. You know, it's here for Hoboken and Hoboken's here. So, great. Anybody else?
I have a question. So, you know, my sense in the city is that there's a lot of businesses that are only getting their information from the mayor's office, and they're fighting to get funding, of course, from these programs. But all in all, I think there's a lot of business owners that feel hopeless and feel that it may not get better for them and they might have to give up. And we may walk down Washington Street and see a lot of empty spaces, more than we've seen, you know, in the past. So my thought with this program is how could it best be explained as an assurance to businesses that as we come out of this, we've got this incredibly great marketing and collaborative effort to support them? Because I think that's probably at the end of the day, businesses feel there's, even if the doors open tomorrow, what support do I have? And if the message was sent that this support is already being put together and we're ready to launch it as, you know, as soon as there's an opportunity to do so. And so you just want to hold on as tight as you can until we get there, because when we get there, we're all in it together and we've got your back. I think if it was communicated that way, that businesses felt that there was, you know, there was a hopeful program that's going to really back them up and put feet into the store and you know, butts in the seats. I think that would help a lot. I think businesses would just feel better.
Adam, what program are you talking about?
No, I think it's the
I mean,
message itself.
I'm putting it up. I'm sort of opening it out, whether it's from the CID or it's from the chamber or whomever. Just to, you know, we're all talking here on this call, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of businesses in the neighborhood who are, you know, they're sweating it, and you know, they're not necessarily hearing from us, because you know, as much as we do social media campaigns, I think there's a lot of folks that are just in the dark because they're really only listening to the mayor's office.
Right, Adam, great point. Absolutely. And I think, Greg, what Adam's referencing is that you're now hearing from us that we have a marketing team and programs in place that's going to be ready to go once the door is open. And I think getting that message out to the businesses today is a critical element. I thank you for that advice. And sometimes, you know, you don't think of those things, it's the forest through the trees, but it's a great opportunity for us to be able to help these businesses know that, like you said, once the door is open, right afterwards, we will be there for them with a program. So we will lay out what that message is going to be, and we'll share that with everybody. Thank you.
And what about in the interim, perhaps there's something, you know, to do, because a lot of businesses are doing things like, whether it be contactless delivery, besides restaurants, you know, they're offering to drop things off, and, you know, still trying to have somewhat of a business, you know, until their physical doors are open. Perhaps there's something more that can be done to promote what they're doing now, you know?
Yes.
We could help get the word out as to what, you know, our local businesses, you know, what services are still available.
Right. One of the things that we're trying to figure out is the communication level, figuring out who is open, who isn't open, you know, what businesses are out there. Like one of the stores that we know is Washington General, you know, the store on Washington Street, and she's also a board member, but we know that what she's doing is she's taking orders right now. I know Little City Books is taking orders. They're shipping products out left and right. You know, so the question is that who is actually doing that? How do we create a virtual Main Street, if you will, of retail, you know, on a platform that we could be utilized. We're working on putting that together as well. It's just coordinating all that information. As you know, we just got started, and all of a sudden, you know, we're given this great opportunity to really pull these things together, and we're working diligently to do that. But that's a great thought. I mean, if any of you know of any platforms or any that are
Stuart,
open.
if I could add to that, the Hoboken Food Pantry called a bunch of restaurateurs and said, well, who is open? And they want to provide meals for as many families as they possibly can. And they are getting a lot of cash donations. So they, Tony Tamarazzo, who's helping to start that organization up, called me and said, is there a list of restaurants you could give us that are open that we could pay them $20 for a family of 4 to eat, and we'll do 40 orders to a different restaurant every week. And what's interesting right now is because we're all socially confined, that if people within each of our industries talk to each other to help expand and get the word out through their own industries, that's helping a lot right now too. And it seems to be working a little bit in the restaurant business, but I agree with you. We need a bigger platform to let what individual businesses are doing. Like, what is Mile Square going to do besides this fundraising effort to help get their first event off the ground once we get up and running?
Right. So the thing is,
and we actually, Mile Square has some ideas that we're doing in the meantime, like a virtual 7th inning stretch, some other things that are going to be live. But again, it would be great to have one, as Stuart said, virtual Main Street,
right,
where some people can go and see, oh, you know, I want to support local. I've been doing the restaurant, you know, I've been doing takeout for restaurants, but what else can I be doing? Oh, this person's, you know, doing delivery of this product, or, you know,
right,
this theater's doing a virtual, you know, whatever. Everything in one place would be great, you know, because I know in the Nixle, he does do a little bit, and, you know, you get little things from, you know, HMAG or Hope.
But if any of you have that information right now that you can share with us, or you can either send it to, you know, Dawn or your email, or our email address is office@HobokenBusinessAlliance.com. Again, it's office@Hoboken.
And then, okay.
HobokenBusinessAlliance.com.
Stuart, can I ask another?
Yeah, because.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking about how when I used to walk down Washington Street, there would be some empty stores, and sometimes it feels unsafe, and homeless people are sleeping there, and the people who live in the buildings feel unsafe, and I feel like maybe a few more Main Street businesses will close, and there'll be more feeling of this sort of disrepair. So I'm wondering if there's a plan to help the adjacent businesses that do manage to hang on more than flowers. Like, what's the thought process around what do you do to make it look like it's not a broken down Main Street?
Right. So one of the things that we were looking to do as well was we wanted to put together a sanitation program, which is cleaning, but it's more than just cleaning. It's also what's the word I was looking for, community assets, people on the street who look at issues and just make sure that, you know, moving the homeless along, that type of thing. They're called community ambassadors. They have them in Newark, they have them in Jersey City and Journal Square. They have, if you remember, Bryant Park used to be, you know, Needle Park. That's an improvement district as well. It's changed and completely. And so these ambassadors that are out there on the streets, you know, working 8-10 hours a day, communicating and moving around. So we are going to be doing that. We just haven't really pushed that yet because there's no way of getting them out on the street right now.
So they're paid employees that do sort of cleanup?
Yes.
And they talk to guests?
They talk to the businesses, they pass by, they work on issues, they take notes on what programs, what problems are out there, and then they communicate them back to us, and then they call us, and then we work with the city to help clean it up. So, you know, vagrancies, that type of thing. loitering, littering. We would actually pay this company to do that. A lot of improvement districts do that throughout the state and the country. And they're cleaning. They work as cleaning ambassadors, but they're also community ambassadors at the same time.
I worked next to Bryant Park for 10 years, and I worked there from when it was Needle Park through to when it's fabulous Shake Shack Oasis.
Right.
What it took to change that park was Shake Shack and tables and regular office people sitting there.
Correct.
Because the Needle people didn't want to be there with
Right.
the office people,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah, and we actually was an improvement district that we actually helped put that whole project together in Bryant Park. So that's
Well,
how,
Stuart, so Sabrina and I had, when we were talking, Main Street Pops had a meeting the other day, and we had a couple of ideas for some of this. Should we contact that office number, or is there a direct? If we have some ideas, who should we?
oh, just
who's
email them directly. And the other thing is my cell phone is where everything gets pushed to my office into my cell phone. So I'll give you my cell phone if you want. It's 201-245-4344. Again, it's 201-245-4344. And but even, I personally, I mean, I love chatting with everybody, which is great. But if you have great ideas, I like to put them into writing. So an email is good. And then as Eugene and Greg will let you know, I never stop emailing.
Chris, I think you had a question. Did you have your hand up?
More just a statement like, hey, you keep saying, does anybody know a platform? Well, I do. So, I mean, you know, we're here, we're happy to communicate whatever messages you want to put out. And you know, one of the reasons we're doing our partnership with Steve and Tap Into is that he has more of a regional reach into Bayonne, Jersey City, neighboring areas. So,
right.
You know, if you want to get people from surrounding areas to come into Hoboken, we're here. You know, I'm not going to turn this into an ad for HMAG, but we are here to help. We've been doing a lot of it in the sense that we've been, you know, if we see something, a business is opened or closed, we've been communicating that. So we could pass that along, but it'd certainly be helpful for us to have a central conduit for that information. Because I say I'm using the royal we, it's me seeing something online and grabbing it. So it'd be nice to work with you guys and coordinate those efforts. And we're here to do whatever you need.
100%. I mean, Steve and I actually know each other fairly well. I've known him for many, many years. I know when Tapped In was put together, you know, so I'm familiar with it. And the people who actually started the whole program, they're actually locked down right now in Florida. Mike is down there. So, you know, it's a great program. We will utilize you. And I think Tap Into is a wonderful platform.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Was office@businessalliance.com.
Office at HobokenBusinessAlliance.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments? Any other questions?
I have one other thing. Eugene, I heard that there was some group of people trying to put together a meeting of hospitality, Hoboken Hospitality, and they have a website that's called Hoboken Hospitality.com, like Hoboken HA.
Right. We've had that for about 20 years now, and it's pretty much a platform for restaurateurs to talk to each other, pretty much. And the chatter on that has been pretty much the PPP for the last week.
Okay. Cool. Somebody just told me about it, and I thought, great. It's a good time for them to organize.
Yeah.
Super. Well, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. All right. So after this meeting, we'll provide all of the information, links, emails, phone numbers, websites, etc., to everyone that were discussed today. You know, on behalf of the EXCO and the chamber, We would like to say thank you to everybody for spending your morning with us and for the information that was provided. Yes, Maria.
Yeah, I just wanted to say really quickly, thank you to Stuart, Eugene, and Greg for laying out some of the projects that they're working on and their mission. I do think, at least for me, it did provide a good level of clarity around what they're working on. And I hope that our members can definitely see the distinction between the Special Improvement District and what the Chamber does. So the Chamber is very self-serving when it comes to our members. We're here to serve our members first and foremost. And we work on events like this, as well as networking events, as well as educational events, and we do advocacy. So for example, we signed off on Monday on a letter along with about another 100 or so chambers of commerce throughout the state of New Jersey and trade associations to our entire New Jersey congressional delegation about the fact that New Jersey does need more federal funding to fund the PPP program, and as well that we need to take a very methodical approach to reopening our economy here in New Jersey. And we're going to be working with that coalition to really reach out, and we are reaching out to our members to understand where they are in this pandemic and what more we can do to be helping them, and as well, get their input on how we start to reopen our economy. So we do things like that, while the CID, if I understand, and the Business Alliance will be working on marketing, on projects to beautify the streetscapes and to get the retail businesses up. And I think really helpful is that piece that Stuart mentioned about being a liaison to help businesses understand how to get started in Hoboken, which is not something that the Chamber takes on. So that's really helpful. I do think that we have different spaces that we're occupying, and I look forward to continuing this conversation so that we can make sure we're all addressing the various needs of small businesses, because I don't think any one organization can do it alone. I also wanted to offer that we do have a platform. The Chamber has a few platforms and a very wide-ranging email distribution list. So when we send out an email, it's going out to something like 10,000 users in the area. So we have been pushing out a lot of information about the PPP program. We will continue to do that. We also use our social media. All in, we're probably reaching something like 15,000 people with all of our social media. So if there is information that needs to get out there, we can be a resource in that way. And of course, all of you, if you get our information, you're more than welcome to continue forwarding it along. We know that not everyone is a member of the Chamber or necessarily on our email distribution list. So again, would love to continue this conversation so that we, don't ever step on each other's toes, but are actually amplifying the services that we are providing to the community. We live in a fragmented world. It's a fragmented media market. While I would love to think that one program can capture everyone's attention, that's really hard. So it does take multiple voices and multiple organizations with multiple ways to get the word out to reach everyone. There probably are businesses out there that don't know anything about the PPP program. So when you do learn of someone who maybe is just learning about it through the mayor's office, direct them to either the Business Alliance or our website at hudsonchamber.org, because we have information. We're more than happy to point them in a direction that will help them. I do know of some businesses here in Hudson County that have gotten loan money from the PPP. So it is possible. You can be successful in getting funding. And if you want some information about how to apply, I'm happy to talk to anybody about that. So thank you again. Don, over to you.
No, Maria, can I just interrupt you? Ask you a question, actually? So what you're doing in terms of working with these other organizations on the state level, if you don't mind sharing that information with us?
Yeah, we'll be pushing, I actually will be sharing a copy of the letter that went out to the congressional delegation with all of our members. I'll forward that to you.
Okay, because what I was going to say is that Downtown New Jersey, which is a statewide organization, is doing something very similar. And so I think they should coordinate that with you, and I can help you do that. So.
Oh, well, excellent. And I think as many voices, again, that get out there, reaching out to a congressional delegation, I actually think separate efforts kind of help, because it's like more voices in the mix and in the pot. So all of you can do the same. You can reach out and call our congressional leaders and say, we need more money, which is what I'm going to be asking our members to do, to make sure we get more of that money here, because we are one of the hardest impacted states, as we all know, we're living in. So thank you, Stuart, though. I definitely will send that to you.
Thank you. Okay. Appreciate your time.
Sure. No,
All right, then. Thank you, everybody. Happy Earth Day. Be kind, stay safe, and we'll definitely see you soon.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Live long
Thank
and
you.
And send us the recording, Dawn, okay? The link.
We will.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.